Well, good evening everybody and welcome back to a new season of One Hub Racing. You are watching the brand new Precision tier here, 7:30s for the next 8 races. My name is Kieran McGinley and joining me in the commentary booth for this season is Luke Etheridge. Luke, how are you tonight?
I'm very well, Kieran. Looking forward to a short but hopefully action-packed season.
Now, of course, you and I, Luke, have been covering One Hub once before, and that was Russia in season number 12. I was good enough for you to come back and greet me again, was it?
Yeah, we definitely had a lot of fun with that race. I think Pete remembers it more than most drivers. And hopefully we'll see a lot more action, especially with the new rules that have been introduced for season 13. Absolutely,
and if you're unfamiliar with the new rule set, well, obviously this is a new tier, so welcome along. This is the 3rd tier of One Hub Racing at 7:30. And one thing to mention as well is that all the teams you're seeing today and across the 4 tiers, all of their constructors' points add up cumulatively. So, you know, you could see Sauber doing really well here on with Liam making his way towards the final few corners. But they could do not so well in Prestige. You never really know. So it's all about all of the drivers performing consistently over all 4 tiers. And that's going to be crucial for all the teams and all the drivers, considering they've signed for their teams now.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that affects any potential team tactics between the different drivers. They might think it's not worth it as much, seeing as they've got 6 other drivers outside of their own tier to rely on. And there's also the what could become an infamous 2 pit stop rule.
Yes, absolutely. All drivers must complete 2 stops during the race, and each stop must have at least 1 racing lap. It's no good coming in on lap 35 and changing tyres then. Nope, you've got to come in on lap 34. You've got to have at least 1 racing lap under your belt. That means a lap at race pace. So lap 35 would count as the lap there, but not lap 36, if you understand that. But Luke and I were having a little bet. Is it going to be this tier we see somebody not follow the 2-stop rule, I wonder? It's the first race of the season. It's bound to happen.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if we went the entire season without doing it. I'd be surprised if we went the entire evening without someone from one of the tiers forgetting. Although the 2-stop rule does mean expect to see a lot more drivers going for the super softs in qualifying. As you can see at the moment, it's only Nick and Jovic, the 2 Mercedes, who have stuck with the soft tyres. They might as well try and push for super softs as much as possible, get as much use out of them, knowing that they're guaranteed to make 2 pit stops. So tyre saving not as important as it usually would be.
And Nick was also saying in the Sunday night late night show, which is coming back this Sunday, remember, for round number 1. Obviously with the very famous Marqueses, also known as Odems, they'll be discussing each and every single tier in about half an hour. So good luck to them for keeping up with everything, every single battle. Plus, pressure's on us, Luke. We've got to pick 2 drivers at the end of the day to put forward for the driver of the day vote. So I'm sort of wringing out my collar here because that's going to put us under pressure.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not streaming this, so it gives me a chance to flick through more of the drivers in the last few minutes to see who's doing a good job. It's going to come down to whoever can perhaps not just win the race, but perhaps someone moving from the back of the field. If you have a bad qualifying, if you have a bad first lap even with damage, that's not going to be the end of the world anymore.
Well, we haven't talked much about the drivers at all. We've just talked about ourselves and the league and tonight's race. We should probably tell you that, I should probably tell you that if you're familiar with the Pinnacle Tier last season, you might recognise some of these drivers. You've got Lawrence, you've got Jaw, you've got White Fountain, Lukey, Scorpion, Matt Your Daddy. You know, these are all names I remember. TK, Farth, Pete. And look at this, Luke. We've got 3 Nicks in this tier. They're all here. The only Nick that didn't make it was Nick, who I believe is at the tier above, I believe. I'm sure Nick will be in my DMs very, very shortly about that one. But yeah, 3 out of the 4 Nicks qualified for the Precision tier. That's pretty interesting.
There's going to be a few Murray Walker, Michael Schumacher getting past Michael Schumacher moments, I feel.
Well, I think we've got to come up with some code names. So we've got Nick G, we've got Nick A, and then we've got Thompson. Because I'm not calling him Nick LJ, that's not going to happen. So it's just Thompson. That'll be the easiest, I think.
I'm happy with that. I can live with that.
As long as you can live with it for the next 8 races. Yeah, live with it for the next 8 races. That's what's happening. So, 12 minutes and 20 seconds to go. We have Chris on pole position. Yes, that's Chris on pole position. 107.6. It's Lawrence in second. 107.849. Nigel in third. 107.882. That is your top 3 so far, with just over 12 minutes remaining. Only 3 drivers who are on soft tyres. That's Jorit, Asahina, and Nick G. But Nick G in the pit stop and hasn't come out onto track just yet. Who are you expecting to light up the timing screens towards the end of the session then, Luke? I know you've been following One Hub, especially towards the end of last season. Who are you expecting to be the dark horse here?
I think Scorpion could pull something off. Just got a feeling. Not sure that's based on any logic, but as we saw on qualifying night, it was such a close session between all the drivers. If you make one mistake, that's going to be the difference possibly between pole position and starting outside the top 10 even. At the moment we've only got 4 separating the top 10. So you've got to get everything.
Well, I don't know what happened to Luke there. I hope he can come back. But meanwhile we are riding on board with Scorpion. He abandons the lap and oh no, I've lost Luke. Oh no. Okay, well I'll have to keep going as best I can. There's the black box to tell you that Luke's left the party, which is a huge shame. I will try my best to try and get him back. But you're watching the Precision Tier. This is season number 13. I wanted to basically have the what's it called? I basically wanted to have the unofficial tag to be unlucky for some, lucky for one. And apparently Luke can still hear me, which is oof. I have no idea. No idea what's going on whatsoever. By the way, here comes Victor here, coming towards the start-finish line. He's now coming back towards the pit lane and now coming back into the pit lane. Well, you're seeing a lot of black boxes because the PSN is really, really, really bad at the moment. Random people are joining my private party. How about it? And that's why you're seeing a lot of black boxes. Not a lot I can do about it without going to a blue screen and trying to invite Luke back. Luke, if you can hear me, not sure what I can do. Hopefully I can get him back into the party at least so we can have some discussions about the race. What I'll do then is, right, bear with this blue screen. Oh, he's back. He's back. There we go. Apologies for the blue screen. Luke, can you hear me?
I can.
Oh, there we go.
I could hear you all the way along. It was the weirdest thing I've ever noticed.
Well, it's good that you're back now. Well, you wouldn't call it dramatic, would you, this Precision Tier? It's got off to a flying start. By the way, in your absence, TK is now up to second place, 107.798 in the McLaren there, with Jaw in fourth place right now. Everybody has set a lap time at the moment, and the gap between Chris on pole position and Farth in 18th place, 1.3 seconds. That's not too bad considering that's spread over the entire field. Here comes Lawrence then towards the line, 107.732. That puts him into second place.
Yeah, I was saying to myself, it turns out, that being such a close field as we saw in the qualifying night pretty much means one slight mistake is going to make the difference between being on pole position or being outside the top 10 even.
Absolutely, and you've got Asahina and Jorit there. You can see 108.3s, the both of them, actually separated by 0.02 of a second. In fact, that's 0.002 of a second, both on the soft tyres. So it should be pretty interesting. I was about to go through some of the interviews, and there are quite a few of them this time around, so I'll try and go through as many as I can. There is Liam J. He was asked, what do you think about the mandatory two-stop rule for this season? He said, I like it. I think it allows everyone to push harder with not as much chance to ruin your tyres. It will also make strategy more important for the races, and that's the key thing here. It's pushing as hard as you can now. It's a short season, you know, the race is coming at you thick and fast. More stops means you can push harder, and that is Thompson there getting a 5-place grid penalty for a collision with Scorpion. That is just before turn 12, I believe.
Yeah, I didn't quite see what happens there. They both seem to have got away with it unscathed, but not an ideal situation for Nick to be in. That'd drop him down to 12th at the 13th at the moment.
Absolutely.
But definitely, we should see more mistakes now, just because the drivers are going to have to push a lot harder.
There is Pete then, who in the Pinnacle Tier probably came up with moment of the season when he completely lost the back end just before turn 4 at the Russian Grand Prix. Not only took out Brumadinho, but also took out his teammate who was challenging for the title. Just one of those bizarre instances. He lost the back end completely, and it allowed the then champion to go through and take a commanding lead in the championship. There's Nick G then, 107.6, as he then goes well onto the grass and understeers wide off the circuit at turn 1. Puts himself on provisional pole position though. Still got to be careful on those tyres, because if that makes it to the top 10 and those are the tyres he starts on, they'll have a bit of rubbish on them for the first couple of laps.
Yeah, he's definitely taking it very easy on his outlap. He doesn't want to take anything more out of them tyres. Should still have enough time to get back to the pits and have one more effort. I'm interested to see now that Ashahena's the only man to have set the fastest lap on the soft tyres, if he will stick with them or if he'll follow the field and go on to the super softs for a last run, because with a 108.3 on the soft tyres, it wouldn't be surprising to see him challenging for pole position.
Oh no, it's happened again. Oh no. Right, Lukey on pole position then, 107.5. It's happened again. I'm in the box on my own, and then you'll see a black box saying he's left the party any moment now. No, hang on. I think he's come back, has he? Luke, are you there?
Have I?
Oh, you are there. Ah. I have no idea what's going on, Luke. Then again, that doesn't make too much of a difference. Then I can't hear you if you are speaking. Well. Oh boy. Right, Lukey then on provisional pole position then for this one, 107.5. That's Nick G in second now, that means, as he makes his way very slowly back towards the pit lane. That is Luke in the chat there saying, be right back. I'm just chucking my router out of the window. Lovely. We'll have to see how successful that is. Luke, I wonder if you are there. I can hear signs of a mic trying to work. I don't know if that is you.
It might be.
It is you. There you are.
It is me. I'm here.
You are here. I don't think you're in the lobby though. Well, this is it. This is it. As a he then, fourth place.
Life is full of small challenges.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what, the voice quality has just gone way down on your end. Hopefully you can get that fixed, Luke. Meanwhile, Asahina, fourth place then, 107.638. So close now between the guys now. Look at that. First place to 18th place, 0.553 seconds across the entire field. Just over half a second. That is fantastic to see for the first round of the season.
That should lead to some fantastic racing in the next few minutes, especially with the undercut. If that's possible, you could easily find yourself gaining about 5 or 6 positions just by pitting a lap earlier than everyone else and using the fresh tyres.
Well, that is Chris leaving the pit lane then, of course, a previous champion of One Hub, as he makes his way now towards this pit lane. And Luke, it's a pretty tricky pit lane to come out of. It's very easy to overcook it as we ride on board with Chris then, or not on board with him, but looking at the cameras now as he makes his way out of the pit lane, it's very easy to overcommit and get it completely wrong coming out of the pit lane.
Not just coming out of the pit lane, it's not the easiest pit lane entry, to be honest. There's a bit of a chicane on the way in, but like you said, it's very easy on the way out of the pit lane. If you just get it wrong, you could find yourself in the wall, and if you're lucky, only getting front wing damage, but then you're going to have to do the entire lap, and especially that very tight and twisted middle sector. If you've lost your front wing, that is going to be an absolute nightmare to get around.
Thompson then coming towards the line to start a new flying lap. Remember, he does have a 5-place grid penalty. Riding on board now as he heads through turn 2 and then coming around turn 3. Just over 3 minutes to go then, Lukey on provisional pole position. TK back up to 2nd place now. He was down to around about 10th place a couple of seconds ago. Nick G in 3rd place with Chris in 4th. Asahina in 5th. Liam in 6th. Scorpion in 7th. Victor 8th. Lawrence in 9th with Farth in 10th. Nick A in 11th. White Fountain 12th. Jaw in 13th. Westy 14th. Nick LJ Thompson, who I'm sure I was calling Thompson earlier on. 15th place. Matt Yadadi at his home Grand Prix, currently running in 16th place. Pete in 17th. Jorrit 18th on a 108.1. Just over half a second separating this entire field. I mean, I don't even know how many times I want to say that, but it's still amazing to see as Westy then goes even quicker, 107.4, as this track rubbers in and gets quicker and quicker.
I mean, compared to the gap between the rest of the field, that's a chasm. A huge gap, like 1/10 ahead of everyone at the moment. Seems to be probably the biggest gap we've got throughout the entire field. It's 4th to 6th place at the moment, showing us 6 thousandths of a second. That is unbelievable.
Now, in terms of strategy, we're looking at getting these super soft tyres to run anywhere between 8 and 11 laps before you really start to feel the wrath and the curse of them. So, you know, you can do over half the race on soft tyres, I believe. I mean, you can do around 16 laps on them, I think, before they start to show signs of wear. So it's going to be interesting in terms of strategy. You could try 2 super soft stints as Chris then goes top, 107.453. And that is 5 thousandths of a second quicker than Westy. Provisional pole position with 90 seconds to go.
Yeah, I imagine that'll be Chris done for qualifying, but I feel the drivers who are a bit more gentle on the tyres will definitely try and get 2 super soft runs in. Maybe their final stint on the super softs, try and make the most of the tyres when they've got the lightest fuel load and the cars are at their raciest.
Well, that is Chris, who is sort of backed off now. That will be his qualifying session done. Westy has come back to the pits, so that is his qualifying session done. We've got Lukey on a lap. Victor, meanwhile, up to 3rd place now in the Haas, 107.528, as he gets out of the way of the Ferrari of Lukey coming through. So 2nd row of the grid for now, but looking at this qualifying session, it's really all about being the last car to cross that start-finish line before the countdown reaches 0.
You don't want to get caught out. We saw that happen in the Chinese Grand Prix to Max Verstappen, taking it too slow on his outlap and missing out on a great chance to improve your qualifying time. But as you mentioned, with the track rubbering in, you want to be the last car across the line. You want to be going across the line with no more than a second or 2 remaining in the session.
Jorrit there, 107.2. He was down at the bottom half of the field as Thompson retires from the session then, somewhere in Sector 2. So that is his day done then. In 13th place, Westy also retires, feeling that's all he can do. As Jorrit then on pole position, 107.2. Can anyone get quicker than that? Checkered flag comes out then. You've got Lawrence, who's on a flying lap. Is he? No, he's not. It's mode 0. As Scorpion there goes up to 3rd place, 107.4. That means the Ferraris of Lukey and Chris are 4th and 5th right now. Nick G is on a flying lap as he makes his way round the final corner now through turn 15, on the way towards the start finish line. Can he get any better than 10th place? Yes, he can. It's 9th place, 107.532. That puts him into P9. Asahina then coming towards the line. He was holding 4th place earlier on in qualifying. What can he hold now as he comes towards the line? And it is 11th place. Couldn't go quicker and will start outside of the top 10. So it's only Scorpion out there, but I don't believe he's on a flying lap right now. So that means qualifying is complete then. And pole position for the first race of Season 13 goes to Jorrit here in the Precision Tier.
Good performance from both Ferraris for the Constructors' Championship in 4th and 5th place. They'll be delighted with the job they've done.
Absolutely, and we just wait now for Scorpion to come back to the pit lane and possibly to retire from the session. He makes his way back now. 3rd place for Scorpion. Good start to the season for him. And of course, all of the top 10 will be starting on the super soft tyres. And you would assume maybe that everyone outside the top 10 might try and risk it on a set of soft tyres and try and run maybe 2 super soft stints later on with a lighter car.
That's definitely going to be probably the best strategy in terms of just pure race pace. Whether they'll be able to make their way through the field enough once the super soft tyres start wearing on the front runners. You'd expect if the top 10 are the only ones starting on super soft, they'll have the grip off the start line. But I doubt we'll see the medium tyres make an appearance unless someone has damage on lap 1 and they feel they've got a part of the race.
Well, we are waiting now for the qualifying results for the first round of the season, and we're just waiting on a couple of drivers to then connect to the next screen. And here we go then. So Jorrit then on pole position for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Lawrence in second, Scorpion third, Lukey in fourth, Chris in fifth with Westy in sixth, Farth in seventh, Victor in his home Grand Prix finishing eighth place there, Nick G in ninth with TK 10th, Asahina starting outside of the top 10, Matty Daddy in 12th, Liam in 13th, Nick A 14th, Thompson 15th, White Fountain 16th, Jor in 17th, and Pete starting in P18. Remember though, Thompson has that 5-place grid penalty, so that's going to promote White Fountain, Jor and Pete up a place, with Thompson then starting at the back of the grid.
Yeah, he'll be a man possessed, I feel, in those first few laps, trying to redeem himself from that penalty. I suppose on the bright side, it's only costing 3 places in the end, but he won't be too happy about his qualifying performance, I'm sure.
Well, we now wait then for the formation lap, and it looks a little cloudy out there. And well, let's hope that the rain just sort of stays away, because I believe that 2 stops still counts if it's a wet race. So be interesting to see what that happens. And Luke, you're back in the lobby.
I decided to wait out qualifying, seeing as if it wants to kick me out, let's try and get in as late as possible.
To be kicked out as late as possible. I like that. Anyway, let us know for the first race of the Precision Tier. Let us know who you think is going to be winning this one. Very, very close throughout the entire field. I am looking forward to this one. Can Jorrit claim that first win from pole position? Can Chris do anything to upset them? And Luke, that lasted at least 20 seconds before you left the session again.
It's going fantastically.
It's going well. It's going well, Luke. It's going well. Otherwise, you might just be consigned to the replays, I'm afraid, Luke. If this can't work out, you'll have to watch the stream, which is about 20-25 seconds back, and then you can pick up on anything I miss, which is very likely.
Well, it could make the driver of the day a bit interesting.
Oh,
My
definitely.
tactic of watching everyone else who you're not watching has quickly been foiled by the gaming gods.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for everyone for tuning in so far. Great to have you on board for this first race of the Precision Tier. We're just waiting now for the drivers to solidify their strategies. Remember, they have to stop twice in each and every single race in season number 13, and they have to complete at least 1 racing lap in each of those stints. So you can't stop on lap 35 out of 36. That's not allowed. You will be disqualified after the race. And well, will somebody forget the 2-stop strategy rule? We'll have to wait and see. Anybody who doesn't complete 2 stops within the race will get disqualified from the race itself. Remember as well, the constructors' points count for every single tier. They all get added up, so every performance matters here as we make our way for the first formation lap of a new season, with the clouds looming as Jorrit then makes his way down towards turn 1. Lawrence there in second place, Scorpion in third, with both Ferraris 4th and 5th. Good result for them so far. As we have a look now at the tyres then. Of course, the top 10 have to start on the tyre they qualified on. And also, that's Lawrence getting it majorly wrong then on the formation lap. And that was Scorpion collecting him. So I wonder if Scorpion's going to be sent to the grid. No, he's not. That's a surprise. I wasn't expecting that one. As Nick and TK already sent back to the grid then, probably for the same reason. But Asahina then is the one outside of the top 10. He's on a fresh set of super softs. Matt your daddy on some soft tyres. Liam on super softs. Nick A on soft tyres. White Fountain also on soft tyres. Jaw in 16th on super soft tyres. Pete also on super soft tyres. And Thompson with that 5-place grid penalty, getting it all wrong coming up the hill towards turn 6. But he is getting and starting his season on a set of soft tyres. Jorrit then will be leading the pack down towards turn 1. It is a very, very short run towards turn 1, so you've got to get the start absolutely right. You can try and hold the inside line. Remember, coming towards turn 2, you're stuck on the outside, but then through turn 3, the last part of the centre S, you're on the inside again and ready to defend, heading down towards turn 4. Good overtaking opportunity there. You've also got the hairpins almost of turns 8 and turn 10 to try and make a move. But if you try and move through turn 12, you might compromise your exit, and that's going to cost your exit all the way through 13, 14 and 50 through Xunsao. That's the last time I'm going to try and pronounce that one because my Portuguese is atrocious. Here we are then, coming towards the grid then for the very first round of One Hub Racing. Remember, we are sponsored by Next Level Racing, and if you use the code OneHub10 at the discount, you will get a lovely 10% discount off your order. Moments away then from round 1 of the Precision Tier, and it's nice to have Luke back into this lobby. How long will he stay here? Who's going to win this one? And who will get the perfect start to the Precision Tier? We're moments away then from the Brazilian Grand Prix. Watch those 5 red lights as they come on. And they're coming on now. Here we are for round 1. 5 red lights. Round 1 is underway, and what are the starts like? Look like Jorrit's got a fantastic start. A bit of wheel spin though, and that could invite Scorpion to try and go round the outside. Jorrit then heading down towards turn 1. He's got the inside line, but a great start from Scorpion, and an even better start from Lukey there, as he's now up to 3rd place. As they all go through side by side, Lawrence and Chris go as they head now down the short straight towards turn 4. Look at the cars coming through in the background. You've got a Ferrari and a Mercedes there in the background trying to make a move. That's Nick G going up the inside. That's Scorpion running wide. Chris and Farth as well running wide, as I believe that was Victor running wide as well, as we head now up the hill towards turn 6. Very narrow here, and that was Farth getting onto the grass a little bit. You can see Lawrence there getting very, very close to his teammate then, as Farth now trying to move down the inside in towards turn 7. As we head now, turn 8, now going around turn 9. Scorpion, 5-second stop though for gaining a place and corner cutting as we make our way now towards turn 10. Look at this now, very close together. You can see Nick G going up the inside of Victor as we head through turn 11 now, and running aboard with Nick then as he makes his way through turn 12. Couldn't quite make that move stick on Victor, and Victor will be pushed on by his home crowd as we make our way now up the hill and through the final couple of corners then through Junsao. I said it would be the last time, but I lied. Here we are then on board with Nick G as he makes his way towards turn 1. But look at Lawrence here trying to make a move on his teammate now down towards turn 1, then through turn 2. He's stuck on the outside, but that might cost him. Westy looked like he had a prime opportunity there. Couldn't quite make it stick though. Pete though up to 14th place he goes with Nick and Liam battling away. That's Nick A by the way in the Williams. Williams there 14th and 15th. Things might be on the horizon for a change for them. But after lap 1 then, Jorrit's in the lead, Lukey 2nd, Scorpion 3rd. That is your top 3 so far.
Yeah, I think Lawrence suffered a bit from not being able to complete the formation lap. He had a dreadful start and just seemed to be struggling with the tyres all the way around the lap. We've already had the first pit stop of the race. Joe has had to come in for front wing damage, so he's now gone onto the medium tyres, so he's basically just running an adapted one-stop strategy here now.
Absolutely. Well, that's one thing Nick was saying, the league administrator. He was saying that if you get damage on the first lap, it might not be so much of a problem anymore. You'd still be in the race, but he's got to make those medium tyres work now if he can get them up to temperature on a very cloudy day here in Sao Paulo. Jorrit still leads though. You're watching Asahida as he tries to close in on Westy, heading up towards turn 1 now. Watch out for Pete as well, trying to battle away with White Fountain. As Pete, will he try and look for the inside move? He won't. DRS is activated now, and the first time we'll be able to use it is that line there, which is the detection point. Pete not getting turn 2, absolutely spot on there, but he's still got the run here. As you can see, the Renault teammates fighting away. Lawrence then getting his way past Farth. Meanwhile, Asahina is battling away with one of the Renaults. Meanwhile, Nick G and Victor are battling away. Then side by side, they go up the hill towards turn 6. Victor has the inside line. Nick is going to go around the outside. Nick G then has the move done. Up to 9th place he goes. Fantastic bravery there. Oh, that's the McLaren of TK who tried to tow up the inside of Victor, then got it horribly wrong, and is now all the way down to 15th place. Bizarre move from TK, and it's cost him all the time.
Yeah, I can't see any major damage on that McLaren. It's been a bit of a nightmare start for the Woking team. Further back, I saw Nick have a go at Liam, but he just touched the grass slightly heading into the centre S, and he did well to hold on to the car in the end, but I'd expect to see DRS becoming very important with how close the field is. Jorrit's definitely done what he'll have wanted though. He's got out of that DRS zone. He's got a 1.3 second lead, and he'll just be trying to make those super softs last as long as possible.
Westy not getting turn 2 right, and now he comes under victim of Asahina. They've both got DRS. They're trying to chase down Farth then as we head now down towards turn 4. Farth defending the inside line. Asahina's trying to go around the outside. Now you can just see Westy pop into your picture then as he tried to defend, but Asahina kept his cool, kept his composure, and took 7th place away. Great driving here from Asahina in what is his first One Hub race. It is his debut today. Like other drivers here today, he'll just be hoping to get a good result. He's passed one of the home favourites, Victor, on for 9th place. Meanwhile, the other home favourite is Matt Your Daddy in 11th place right now, heading now towards turn 10. Currently running in 11th place, which isn't a bad start, but he was, well, better word to put it, unlucky in Season 12 with the results and the crashes he was involved in. He'll be hoping to just get that car to the end and preferably in the points.
He'll be happy just to be hanging on to the back of everyone at the moment. He is the first runner on those soft tyres, so it just has to wait a couple more laps and it'll definitely come towards him as Lawrence gets a time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, so he must have got some damage that we haven't seen, or either that or he's just had enough of those tyres already.
TK trying to go round the outside of Nick A. Wasn't going to happen, but he'll get the DRS then on the short straight down towards turn 4. Lots of battles to keep our eye on. Victor now going down the inside of Nick G in towards turn 4. He'll have the inside then for turn 5, and the Mercedes might be losing out here, and he does. Up the short hill now towards turn 6. As we now head in towards turn 6 and then through turn 7 now. Victor holding on then from the Mercedes, and the Brazilian now up to 7th place ahead of Nick G now in the Mercedes. Meanwhile then Nick A is right stuck in this battle now as Liam J is battling away with TK. Nick behind him, and then Thompson rounding off that 4-car train at the moment. Thompson trying to go up the inside, is he? A little bit of contact with Nick A, and Nick A sent around onto the grass he goes, and well, he's lost a position there. And I wonder if Thompson will be inclined to give that position back. There was contact between the two of them, but of course you never quite know what both drivers will have seen on their screens.
Yeah, Nick seems to be having quite a lot of adventures already at the start of the season. We said it was going to be action-packed, but I'm not sure that's what he would have meant.
Lawrence is out, by the way, of the Brazilian Grand Prix. And he becomes the first retirement of the race and, of course, of the season here in the Precision Tier, as Asahina gets past 6th place man Farth. And they're still side by side then. Through turn 5 we go. And Farth then having to... Virtual safety car deployed then. That's a virtual safety car. I wonder why they're both backed off for a minute there. But it is a VSC has been deployed. So all the cars now have to follow a Delta. But as some drivers have found out, that Delta can be exploited.
Yeah, you want to be as close as possible to your Delta. I wonder now if this is the time we're going to see quite a few cars flood into the pit lane. Try and take advantage of the fact that pit stops obviously take it, because all of a sudden you don't have the same speed everyone else going on track. Although, as I say that, the virtual safety car has ended, so that's that idea out the window.
I'll tell you what, Lukey's managed to close up significantly to the back of Jorrit. He's now in DRS range. He wasn't that before. And now he's in the slipstream, heading now up the hill towards turn 1. Will Lukey try and have a go down the inside, in towards turn 1. Side by side they run. It's Ferrari versus Mercedes through turn 2 and then through turn 3. Lukey's got the inside line, and Lukey takes the lead of the Brazilian Grand Prix right after that virtual safety car. And Jorrit will be wondering how.
Yeah, Jorrit did seem to be going very slow under the virtual safety car. He's tried to fight back through turn 4, but Lukey's just got himself ahead. I can't see Jorrit be able to do anything unless he can go round the outside into Ferrigno, and that's a brave move to try. And Lukey just keeps his nose ahead.
So Lukey then takes the lead of the Brazilian Grand Prix. Scorpion, by the way, in 3rd. Will be wanting them to battle because it's bringing him now into DRS range. Lap 7 of the Brazilian Grand Prix. Lukey leads now from Jorrit, and Scorpion in 3rd. It's Chris 4th, Asahina 5th, Farth in 6th, Victor 7th, Nick G in 8th, Matty Daddy 9th, White Fountain 10th, with Pete in 11th, Liam in 12th, TK 13th, Thompson 14th, Nick A 15th, Wesley 16th, Jaw in 17th, with Lawrence our only retirement so far here in Sao Paulo.
Yeah, it's not been an ideal start to the race for the Renault drivers. As he was retiring, we saw Asahina getting past far first. Chris dives into the pits for the first of really the main front runners, apart from Lawrence, to pit. It'll be interesting to see whether he goes for the super soft or the soft tyres.
Yeah, of course, that 2-stop is to try and promote racing here, as that is Nick G in trouble at the Senna S's, and he's gone off just before turn 2. So that is the Mercedes then dropping all the way down to 14th place, as Wesley then just sets the fastest lap of the race. Then Chris is emerging out of the pit lane on soft tyres. Meanwhile, Pete in 9th place trying to battle away with White Fountain as we head up the hill towards turn 6. Lukey there managing to break the DRS zone ahead of Jorrit. Meanwhile, Pete going down the inside of the Red Bull of White Fountain in towards turn 8. Now he's round the outside at turn 9. And now coming up the hill towards turn 10, running very close. Pete then will try the switchback, but he runs into the back of White Fountain. runs completely into the back of them. I wonder if there's any damage to Pete's front wing. Doesn't look like it right now. Thompson, meanwhile, has got away past TK. He's now up to 11th place. Meanwhile, Matt Your Daddy and Victor might have a good battle out on track. Two Brazilians here. And, well, I wonder which one of them is going to be coming out on top. Lukey, race leader, into the pits then on lap number 8. Technically for him now lap number 9. Well, that means Jorik gets the lead back and now throws in the question of when do the other guys pit?
Yeah, we've seen the power of the undercut. Westy wasn't really involved in the lead battle. He's come out of the pits 2 seconds ahead of Chris, although that gap is beginning to come down now. So we'll see where Lukey comes out after all this. We are seeing a few different strategies, as people are mentioning in the chat. The race looking extremely close so far. You'd be a brave man to call the winner after only a quarter of the race.
Absolutely, and what is important is this, what you're seeing right now, how many stops each driver has done. You can see then Lukey has done 1 stop, and he's the leader of the 1 stops so far. Meanwhile, he's trying to battle away with Nick G in towards turn 6. Meanwhile, that's Westy right behind. Westy's just gone straight up the inside of both of them. In towards turn 7 they go, and Westy, out of nowhere, has got past the both of them. Great driving from Westy there in the Haas. He's completely taken advantage of that one. Now he's up into 12th.
What is it Ayrton Senna said? If you no longer go for a gap that exists, you're no longer a racing driver. I'm not sure Westy expected that gap to exist, but he definitely made the most of it.
That is Jorik now into the pits from the race lead. On go another set of super soft tyres. He has to wait then for the other... Oh no, he rejoins ahead of the Haas. I thought they held him for a second there. So he'll rejoin on a set of super soft tyres. So presumably he's got soft tyres to run to the end then later on in this race. Meanwhile, Pete then right on the back of White Fountain as we head now down towards turn 4. Up the inside he goes of the Red Bull. Up the inside of White Fountain. White Fountain runs out of road and Pete gets the position then. Up to P5 Pete goes. Meanwhile, Liam gets away past Thompson. Into P7 he goes. Lots of battling, Luke, and I'm not surprised for not being able to keep up right now.
I just don't know where to look. Everywhere it seems to be there seems to be position changes. As West has shown, it's not just the typical overtaking opportunities on this track. You've got to find them. Be interesting to see how Jorik does. He's gone for the super softs, whereas most of the others who have pitted have gone for the soft tyres. So maybe being able to make them last earlier on in the race is going to be the key for him here. Should expect him to pull the gap out on Westy and Lukey. I'd imagine the two Ferraris of Lukey and Chris want to get past Westy as soon as they possibly can, because he could hold them up in a few laps' time once the Haas's tyres are beginning to become a bit more worn.
Close there between Thompson and Liam. Liam was intended to come into the pit lane and now has a 5-second stop go, which will be served at his next stop. Guaranteed. Nick, there was a little bit of a communication breakdown, but in the end they both got through unscathed. Thompson up to P4 then. As you can see, the green and red arrows of where everybody's starting to pit in for their first stop of the race. Can get a little bit confusing, but look at this then. Farth and Victor are going to go side by side then down towards turn 4. And I think I predicted that a little bit too early as Victor takes the position away. Oh, that was anticlimactic. Sorry, everybody.
I think Farth's just taking it easy after coming out of the pit lane. So Jorik with the net race lead at the moment, 1.6 seconds ahead of Westy, followed by the two Ferraris just over a second back as well. A good start to the race by Ashahina. He's just moved his way steadily up the order, seems to be making them super softs last quite a while, and he's got himself a fairly good lead at the moment over Matt Your Daddy and White Fountain.
Yeah, and at the moment it's been a good performance from Sauber in this race, running in first and at 14th right now. Tale of two stories with the Saubers, but of course Liam has just pitted, that's why he's in 14th place. Jorik then, fastest lap of the race then. He's 4.8 seconds behind Nick A, and he's 2.2 ahead of Westy. That clear air will be doing him no harm whatsoever.
Jorik will just be hoping that by the time he begins to catch up to the two Nicks ahead of him in 4th and 5th, that they'll be getting ready for the pit stop. Although with Nick A being on the soft tyres, and in fact all those have had, apart from Ashahina, on the soft tyres, might take him a bit longer to get through. It all depends on where you catch the cars up. If you catch them up at the beginning of the middle sector, you're probably going to have to follow them all the way round to the main straight, and you're going to lose a chunk of time.
Oh, that's Jaw out of the race then. losing it all the way through turn 5 then, onto the curb and into the wall. Jor then out of the race. He had to pit early, of course, onto those medium tyres, but his race has come crashing down to an end. And that is the end of one of the McLaren's races then. We're down to 16 runners. Meanwhile, Asahina into the pits he goes. Meanwhile, Thompson and White Fountain battle away then. Down towards turn 1. Thompson with the DRS manages to get ahead of White Fountain. And in fact, with Asahina into the pits, that means he goes up to second place. White Fountain isn't done there. Nikkei, though, is very close now to the back of them. So we've got Matty Daddy, Thompson, White Fountain and Nikkei all yet to stop in this race so far. Of course, you have to make 2 stops. Don't know how much more clearer we can make that, Luke. And I guarantee you someone's going to forget.
Yeah, just saw Asahina clip the wall on the way out of the pit lane, trying to get out as close as possible to the cars ahead. Thankfully, he's not got too much damage from that. Can't see any, so may have escaped completely. Be a lucky boy from that. 2 Toro Rossos leading at the moment, just ahead of the Red Bull. Nikkei in 4th place, and they'll just be trying to see how long they can make these soft tyres for. I'd be expecting these to be absolutely blistering at the end of the race. You never know if they could pull off a surprise with a field this close.
But there's Lukey, by the way, in 8th place. Remember, Westy got that move done on him early on, and now Lukey is in 8th place. White Fountain comes into the pits then from 3rd. That's going to put Nikkei up to 3rd place. Now Victor chasing down Lukey with the DRS. The Brazilian now has to go round the outside as we head now towards turn 1. He's on the super soft tyres. Lukey there on the soft tyres as we make our way now through turn 1, then down the hill through turn 2. And I think Lukey there is going to try a little bit of a cutback. He has to go round the outside of turn 3 if he wants to make that move work. Now he's got the DRS then down the short straight towards turn 4. Side by side they go, 2 wide. Towards turn 4, and look at behind them as well, as that's Victor and Farth having a go then in towards turn 4. Looking out up the inside, and my apologies, that's Farth and Asahina. My apologies, as no, I've completely lost the plot then. As Farth in 8th place, that is Asahina in 9th and Victor in 10th. I'm losing the plot here, Luke. As that's Asahina running into the back of Farth. That's a bit of front wing that came off there on the right hand side of his car, and that is not going to help him whatsoever on a track that you really need downforce through the middle part and through sector 2. That is not going to help him whatsoever.
We're glad there's a 2-stop strategy. He might just try and hold it out now until the next pit stop, but you can just see there just so much understeer, and somehow out of all of that, Victor has gone from looking like he'll get 7th place to being in 10th, although he's going to have DRS on Asahina, and in front Farth all over the back of Lukey, and all this is just allowing Chris and Westy to escape further up the field.
Here's Asahina then having to go around the outside. Victor really parks it on the apex there, came sliding through, parked it on the apex, Gilles Villeneuve style, and prevented him from trying to have a go back. But you can see up ahead, Farth then has the run on Lukey down towards turn 4. That means Lukey has to go around the outside then. But you can see that little bit of understeer then. Victor tried to take advantage, heading now through turn 5 up the hill towards turn 6. Couldn't quite get the grasp on it he wanted. And Asahina then down to 9th place with that little bit of front wing damage. And how much is that understeer not only going to hurt his performance but also hurt his tyres? He might not be able to get those front tyres to last as long as he'd like, but they come very close together. Victor and Asahina through turn 9, up the hill through turn 10. Asahina tries a little bit of a cutback then up the inside. No contact there. And then as we head through turn 11, and you can see the amount of understeer. Asahina can't quite go full throttle through turn 11. And here we go then through turn 12. Asahina knows he's got to get turn 12 right. Nikkei into the pits from 2nd place. For his first stop then. Asahina will be in the slipstream. He will have the DRS on Victor as we head now down towards turn 1. Victor, the Brazilian, hoping to hold out from Asahina as we head now down towards turn 1. Will Asahina have a go up the inside? No, he stays behind for now, looking to try and take advantage of the DRS zone in towards turn 4. But look at Victor here. He's managed to catch up to Lukey here and now has another great chance of closing this gap then. You can see the difference in speed, but they all have DRS on each other, and nothing doing down in towards turn 4 this time.
Victor's taking full advantage of the fact that he's got the super soft tyres. He wants to get that past these. He knows that that extra grip afforded by those tyres is going to go away from him soon, and he'll be struggling to keep up with them if he doesn't make a move done. Farth's done well to escape from this battle. He's got about a second ahead of Lukey at the moment, so Chris will be his next target. Westy's dropped back a bit from Jovit, but I feel like Matt Your Daddy's doing an outstanding job to stay at the front of the field. He's done 15 laps on those soft tyres. He's looking very good, as I say that. He comes into the pit lane.
So Matt Your Daddy, Brazilian, into the pits then. And you can see Victor looking to try and take advantage of the DRS then on Luke as we now head towards turn 1 once again. But we're under yellow flags, is that? I wonder, as we head now down towards turn 1, there's the green flag, and Victor may have to just stay back here. Now he'll take advantage through turn 2, and I wonder if that yellow flag was actually active or not. You can see Luca there trying to stick it on the inside, coming very close to the inside tyre of Victor then, as they run very close down towards turn 4. Once again, Luki has the inside line on Victor. Victor then has to run wide, and that's Asahina just taking full advantage then, and Fart is out of the race. There he is on the infield there, on the exit of turn 5. And he must have just completely lost the car then, because, as you said, Luke, he was just galloping away from this battle behind him, and it looks like he's got it wrong all on his own.
Yeah, just must have just put too much power on coming out of turn 4, and all this battling's now allowed Scorpion and Pete to catch up as well. And Matt Your Daddy's only a few seconds behind this battle. He's got a great chance of getting into the top 5 here, maybe even further up, because I imagine West is going to start struggling soon. He did pit a lot earlier than the rest of the field.
Well, I think then he's going to run 2 soft stints rather than 2 super soft stints. But Asahina then still looking for a way past Luki. Up the hill now towards turn 1. It's downhill on the braking zone. Very easy to lock up. You can see there Asahina getting onto the grass then. That's not going to help his turn in, but he'll try and park it on the apex this time around. That's just might leave him open for Victor. But you can see then this battle is from 5th place down to 10th place. It's literally the battle for the points.
Yeah, absolutely crazy battling at the moment. If we go further down the back of the field, you've got Nick and Liam down at the back. Jovic now with a 4-second lead. He's just trying to keep it cool. He won't realise what's happened to Farf, but you've seen just how easy it is. You just get it slightly wrong. The walls are pretty unforgiving at this circuit. There's not a lot of runoff area around some of these corners.
What you're seeing in one picture is the battle for 4th place right now, as Matt Your Daddy gets away past Scorpion in towards turn 10 there, as Thompson then gets past Pete in towards turn 9, or through 4P9 I should say, in towards turn 12, and there just in the distance you can see Luki under pressure from Asahina. And I wonder, if you're in this pack now, you're wondering what to do, whether to go for moves, whether to just stay in the DRS. What's important now is Asahina tries to make a move around the outside of Luki. It's meant that the top 4 can just simply gallop away from the rest of the field. As, my goodness, that's a car on top of the other. We'll pretend we never saw that. That's Matt Your Daddy and Scorpion then going through turn 1. Asahina then with the DRS now making their way down towards turn 4. And Luki there has the inside line, and he'll look to just keep that line and keep his concentration, to keep his cool. I did hear a bit of contact on the back of Asahina's car. Whether Victor now has damage to his car, I can't quite see any, but just because we can't see any doesn't mean there isn't any damage. Here's Matt Your Daddy here trying to make a move. A little bit of contact with the rear of the car. There you can see Thompson and that's the Red Bull of Scorpion battling away now. I think they're on different parts of the circuit at the moment. That's why they're coming very close together. But you can see they're still battling away as we now make our way through turn 11. But we'll focus still on this battle there. That is one of the cars running wide there. That was Matt Your Daddy running wide. But you can see there, he's just managed to get ahead. Meanwhile, Asahina right behind Luki once again as they make their way towards the start-finish line. Already, it's lap number 20. This race has flown by. You can see there in the background, they're trying to go 4 wide. As we head towards turn 1, Asahina right on the outside of Luki then. You can see as well the battle really continuing all the way down the field. Matt Your Daddy ahead of Scorpion. Thompson then in front of Victor. And this battle now as Pete did come into the pits after all of that. He's gone into a set of medium tyres. Does he not have another set of tyres available, I wonder? But you can see the Toro Rosso there of, that is Matt Your Daddy, looking to put pressure on Asahina as we head now up the hill towards turn 6. It's very narrow on the entry in towards turn 6, but he's made it work. Matt Your Daddy with a great move. Now we'll try down the inside in towards turn 7 here. A little bit of contact. Oh, sorry, through turn 8. Now coming through turn 9. He runs a little bit wide. He'll have a better exit, though, on the run up towards turn 10. And Matt Your Daddy then gets the position away. Luki's not done yet, yo. He goes up the inside at turn 10 and says, I'll take that position back. Thank you very much. Great battling going on right now, and we're finding it very hard to keep up. Asahina running out of road there and picking up a 3-second time penalty.
Lukey driving the widest Ferrari I have ever seen. This is fantastic defensive driving from him. Pete just confirming he had a broken wing, so that forced him into the pit stops and perhaps feeling he'll just be a bit more comfortable on those medium tyres. Victor pits to shorten the train slightly, but all this DRS zones really mean they're not really losing much time to Chris in third place at the moment. The gap to the leader has stayed around 13 seconds, and Matt your daddy, I said I expected him to maybe get up into the top 4. He's moving through these cars a lot quicker than I expected him to.
Absolutely. Well, we really haven't talked about any of the leaders so far. Jorrit is in the lead by 4.1 seconds. Here comes Asahina again up the inside of Matt your daddy, and it seems like you have a position here and you don't get to keep it for long. But Lukey there up into 4th place once again. As just ignore those cars in the background. They don't exist. Asahina looking to try and make some ground here once again on Matt your daddy, as this battle for 4th place goes all the way down to 8th place. 5 cars involved in this one. This really could go either way, as that is Matt your daddy looking for a move up the inside of Lukey there. But again, through turn 12, he listened to my qualifying report there. Qualifying report on the formation lap, but you know, whatever. Don't try the move into turn 12, you cost the exit. Jorrit Beenamar is in the pits, he's gone onto soft tyres, that's his last stop of the race, and I wonder if these guys are going to be battling so hard they do actually forget to pit. You never know.
Maybe that's why Victor thought just get out of the way early, get that pit stop in. Matt your daddy now and Luke is still battling for what is now 3rd position. Ashahina behind Scorpion and Nick. They seem to have just gapped ever so slightly, and Nick A decides to catch up into all this. He wants a piece of the action here.
Absolutely, and why not? He's made this now, I believe, a 6-car battle again, as Lukey now up to 3rd place, and that's a little bit of contact there, as that's cars going wide there. That looks like Thompson in trouble. Sorry, it was Matt your daddy onto the grass then. You can see just on board with Nick there, that Toro Rosso of Matt your daddy has front wing damage on the left hand side of his car then. It's very minor, but that is an end plate. Obviously, actually it's an entire end plate off then, so that is not going to help him through these left-handed corners. You can already see the amount of understeer here. Asahina has also got that front wing damage, remember, and he's still able to keep this battling going. So it's a fantastic drive from Asahina so far. Westy and Chris are into the pits then from the leads of the race then. Thompson having to go round the outside in towards 14 and now heading towards 15. That's Asahina coming into the pits then, as he looks to change that front wing now. Now we're down to 3 cars in this battle then for 3rd place as we head down towards turn 1. Both Toro Rossos are battling away. It's Thompson who gets ahead of Matt your daddy now, and Nick A in 5th place looking to make these super softs work as he heads into the DRS zone. Will he try a lunging move on Matt your daddy down towards turn 4? I think this battle's just going to calm down a little bit now.
Yeah, there was some contact between Ashahina and Thompson. I think that just finished off the Sauber's front wing, and that caused a bit of the chaos we saw with the Toro Rosso. Ours calmed down a bit, as I said, Nick getting involved, and Jovic not too far behind this battle now. He's done very well out of this pit stop period. Hopefully he'll realise none of these guys have pitted twice and just be a bit careful. He wouldn't want to blow this race getting involved in a battle that he doesn't need to.
Absolutely. Let's see on board with Jorrit then. The task he has, he's got those 5 cars ahead of him. Nick A is first, followed by Matt your daddy, then Thompson, then Scorpion, and then Lukey. But again, they've all yet to stop once again. Here's Thompson then, right on the back of Scorpion. Lukey dives into the pits then from the lead of the race, as Thompson now on the back of Scorpion. Matt your daddy also into the pits then, as my goodness, that's a camera angle and a half. No words.
Matt your daddy wiping out the Marco on board on his way into the pit lane.
Front wing change then for Matt your daddy, the Brazilian, into the pits. Jorrit meanwhile on the back of Nick A, and will Nick make a battle out of this in towards turn 4? Up the inside he goes, and Jorrit gets a great move on the Williams then, runs a little bit wide on exit, but he won't care too much about that one. He's now up to 3rd place.
Yeah, fantastic driving from Jovic, just incisive move, just making them when he needs to. He'll, as I said, he'll want to be careful while getting past these, but you can't take too much time, otherwise he'll have Westy all over the back of him before he knows it. Looking at where everyone's coming out from the pitch, Victor definitely worked out for him pitting earlier, the undercut. He's now 3 seconds ahead of Lukey and Matt your daddy. But of course, Matt your daddy and Ashahina did have front wing damage, which will have slowed them up in the pit lane. I've still got absolutely no clue what the podium's going to look like at the end of this race. We've only got 12 laps to go now.
Scorpion into the pits. That's an easy position for Jorrit then. So the only person in front of him now is Thompson as we head now down towards turn 1. That's Nick A behind Jorrit. Westy then sets the fastest lap of the race. He's currently running in 5th place at the moment, but he has stopped twice. What's important is Thompson, Nick A and White Fountain have not stopped yet. Scorpion making his 2nd stop now as Jorrit then looks to try and get past Thompson. But he knows he can take his time. What he won't know is how many stops Thompson has actually made.
Yeah, hopefully he'll not do anything too stupid. Scorpion had to change the front wing in his pit stop, so that's cost him a bit of time. But that seems to be pretty common throughout that battle. We saw they kept it as clean as possible, but I think it was inevitable there would be bits of end plates flying when you've got 5 cars all within a second of each other. Nick A just running slightly wide in the background there as he tries to keep up with the front 2. And I think we're going to see a mental battle appearing for 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th and 12th soon as everyone starts to bunch up once again.
Matt Your Daddy through past Scorpion, up to 10th place he goes. Thompson then into the pit, so that's going to hand Jorrit the lead of the race then. 11 laps to go then. Jorrit takes the race lead. Westy is in 2nd place. We've got yellow flags somewhere in sector 2. Not quite sure who that was or why it happened, but those yellow flags, whatever they were, they're gone now, so that must have been just someone off track slightly there. But there is Scorpion then on the back of Matt Your Daddy. So Thompson in the pits. So the only person now left to make their 2nd stop is White Fountain.
Yeah, he's currently in 3rd place. A pit stop now, you'd imagine, will put him outside the points, but he will have very fresh, super soft tyres, I believe, at the end. I'm fairly certain he started on the soft, so he will have to go to those super soft tyres.
Just Lukey then.
Checking.
Yeah, Lukey's made a move on TK then. Up towards 8th place he goes.
Yeah, White Fountain did start on the soft, so he will be changing to the super softs, and wouldn't be too surprising to see him set the fastest lap towards the end of the race. Unfortunately for him, you're not going to get any points for that on F1 2018.
Well, absolutely. Jorrit there will be starting lap 27 any moment now as he comes towards the start-finish line. 10 laps to go here in Sao Paulo, and the only person yet to make their 2nd stop in this race is White Fountain. As Luke just said, you should be stopping on a set of super soft tyres to get him to the end of the race. Meanwhile, Nick A on the back of Victor then, as we head now towards the DRS zone. Into the slipstream he goes then. What can he do then as he heads towards turn 1? He's gaining on Victor quite a bit then, and decides not to go for a move down the inside. TK meanwhile looking very much at the back of that Ferrari of Lukey. And remember, all these drivers here are scoring points for the team cumulatively across all 4 tiers. That's why the performances are so important today. Meanwhile, Nick has found a way past Victor then. Nick A, that is, as we head through turn 5, up the hill through turn 6, but I don't think Victor's done with this battle yet. See that yellow indication light on the fuel indicator, bottom right hand of your screen. That means Victor does not have enough fuel to finish this race. It turns off, he has enough fuel. It's as simple as that. And at the moment, he's got to do just a little bit of fuel saving. Runs a little deep through turn 9 there. That's going to cost him on his entry to turn 10.
Yeah, we've seen Lukey do a lot of defending during this race. He might have some more to do from TK, but with Victor being short of fuel, he might be trying to attack at the same time. White Fountain does pit now, so that everyone has made their mandatory 2 pit stops. So Jorrit, Westy and Chris, your front 3 at the moment. Not that surprising after Lukey was pretty much holding everyone up during that immense battle we saw during the middle stint, and I get a feeling with 9 laps to go we're going to see some more.
Well, just a word of warning for you. Thompson up 14 places. That's right, 14. What a race he's had. Remember, he had that penalty in qualifying that sent him to the back of the grid. Now he's running in 4th place. Such a good drive from him so far this race. Of course, we have those 9 laps to go. Anything can happen in them, but so far so good from the Toro Rosso driver.
Yeah, he's done an incredible job. I said he'd be a bit of a man possessed after that penalty, and he has proved that so far. Victor is definitely dropping back from Nick A at the moment and dropping into the clutches of Lukey. White Fountain came out in 9th place after his pit stop, so he'll be one to watch with those fresh, super soft tyres. And we've still got 14 cars within 33 seconds of each other. after nearly 30 laps of racing. It's been incredibly close so far, and I can't wait to see what the next 7 weeks bring if it carries on like this.
Lukey here going around the outside of Victor as we head towards turn 1. There's battles behind as well as White Fountain battles with TK. There's Lukey doing his best to try and defend from Victor. He does well this time around. White Fountain, meanwhile, gets away past TK, as that is Scorpion and Matt Your Daddy battling away down the straight then. But I don't think they're on the same bit of circuit as the track is suggesting, as you can see there, taking out the braking markers. Why not? As I don't think that's actually happening. Who knows? I'll put money on it.
Just making it a bit more difficult for everyone else if there's no more braking markers.
Oh, absolutely. Well, maybe there's braking markers on everybody else's screen now, just not ours.
We don't need them.
Well, obviously not. We're up here. We definitely don't need them. White Fountain, meanwhile, is on a charge right now. Remember, he did 2 soft stints. Now he's on his only super soft stint as he makes his way towards turn 12 with 7 laps to go. He can really abuse these tyres if he really wants to try and make up as much time as possible. In the DRS he will be. Remember to watch out for that gap between Jorrit and Westy, meanwhile. 1.6 the gap right now. Jump back on board with this map battle between White Fountain and Victor then as we head down towards turn 1. You can see White Fountain, even with the DRS, with the Haas having the same thing. You can see side by side, not much between them at all, but White Fountain gets the move on Victor. The only problem is he's now got to defend down the short straight towards turn 4 against Victor, as Victor looks to the inside. The Red Bull does his best to try and get that line away. Victor makes contact with the sideboard of White Fountain, the side pod I should say, and well, Victor can't quite do that then. There's yellow flags in sector 2 there, as Matt that is a car off. It is Matt Your Daddy off. Big damage to that front wing.
Spun round, that's pretty much race over for him. He's going to have to come all the way round the back of the field, so he'll drop well out of the points now. So TK struggling a bit there as well, but he's managed to hold on to 10th place. Westy just earned himself a penalty, and with Jorrit being clean through the race so far, that could make the difference, because Westy is just gaining a few tenths a lap. He should have enough time to catch him up on the track, but whether he can get past and get 3 seconds ahead, that is a completely different matter.
TK then right on the back of Scorpion, but Scorpion here is gaining major ground on Victor. Scorpion trying to make his move down the inside, locking up a little bit in towards turn 1. He's on the outside for turn 2 and runs out of road. Scorpion then has to rejoin, and that's TK who can go, thank you very much, I'll take a free position from you. So Victor then survives to fight another day. Matt Your Daddy has called it a day. He retires and becomes the 3rd retirement here at the Brazilian Grand Prix. And, well, hopefully that Brazilian curse doesn't last too long for Matt Your Daddy. But this time around, it has not treated him too well whatsoever.
No, Chris, he's had a fairly lonely race for the last few laps. He's looking pretty safe in 3rd place on his return to 1-up. He'll be happy with the job he has been doing, but I expect a lot to change from 6th to 10th place. Maybe even Ashahina can get himself involved in that battle as well. I'd imagine it's getting a bit too late for Westy. Those super softs will be starting to get a bit past their best now, even though there is a lot less fuel on board of these cars, of course, so the tyres will last a bit longer. I imagine Jorrit's just got enough in hand to keep the lead on track now.
Well, we shall see then, with 5 laps to go here in Sao Paulo. It is Jorrit in the lead, Westy 2nd, Chris in 3rd, Thompson 4th, Nick A 5th, Lukey 6th, White Fountain 7th, Victor 8th, TK 9th, Scorpion 10th, Asahina 11th, Pete in 12th, Nick G in 13th, and Liam running in 14th place. 4 retirements, I should correct myself from earlier. Matt Your Daddy 4th, Jaw and Lawrence, both Renaults not making it to the checkered flag, and that's going to hurt them in the long run after today's running.
Yeah, Liam's ghost car, that could cause a few problems for the drivers. Hopefully they're not too put off from that, from this still a mental battle, what we are seeing at the moment. Nick Thompson seems to have got himself away from it, as does Nick A, and Lukey just seems to be stretching it out a bit ahead of White Fountain, but it's Victor and TK and Scorpion that are really the ones to watch at the moment. The battle for 8th, 9th and 10th. They've only got 4 laps remaining. It's pretty much now or never. The TK looks to use DRS to his full advantage. Victor's not even really bothered defending that too much, and TK dives down the inside, but he's gone in very deep. That's going to give Victor a great chance along the next straight.
Yeah, absolutely. Here he comes in with the DRS. They're going to run side by side then down towards turn 4. Both of them have DRS, but you can see Victor just edging the McLaren slightly in towards turn 4. But TK holds it round the outside and commits to the corner, and that is good defending there from TK. Looked like he overcommitted into turn 1, but then it gave him the inside line to just park it on the apex into turn 2, so that it was good driving in the end. Victor, meanwhile, going onto the curve to try and desperately get that position back here. But at the moment, he runs in 9th place, and now he has to worry about Scorpion behind him.
Yeah, that's probably going to stop Victor from overcommitting. He knows risk versus reward. He gets it wrong, he's going to lose out to Scorpion, and Ashahina's not too far behind either.
Well, Victor now coming up the hill. You can see TK has just pulled out a nice gap then. It's still 7/10 as we head towards the detection point. Now head to the activation point. He will still have DRS on the McLaren ahead of him, but look at Scorpion here, who has the slipstream as well as the DRS. Victor tries to defend the inside line, then Scorpion decides it's not worth trying to move into turn 1 here. Looks like he's trying to prioritise turns 2 and 3 here. You can see it's not the greatest CRS in the world as he makes his way now into the DRS zone. Short straight down towards turn 4 here, but he hasn't got quite the run he wanted. Meanwhile, the other Red Bull of White Fountain has got a great run on Lukey up towards turn 6 there, but wisely decides before turn 7 to back out of that move. Otherwise, that could have been calamitous for them both.
Yeah, I feel like White Mountain got a bit surprised by just how much overspeed he had on Lukey there, and as you mentioned, wisely decided to back out of it. He definitely looks as though Lukey's going to have to do some more of that fantastic defending we saw earlier on from him to hold on to 6th place now.
Well, not long now, 2 laps to go. Jorrit starts the penultimate lap of the race in the lead, 1.8 seconds ahead of Westy. We haven't really talked much about Jorrit in this race, but he's done the job he needed to do. If you're leading the race and you don't get much coverage, that's normally a good sign.
Yeah, it's something Mercedes are familiar with, just driving off into the distance. He held off the challenge in the first couple of laps, and I feel like that was important. Getting a good start to the race, ensuring you're outside of DRS range of everyone else. It just means you can have a bit more control. You're not wasting time defending, which, of course, going offline ruins your tyres slightly as well.
2 moves we just saw then. That is Scorpion on Victor. He's made that move stick. Meanwhile, White Fountain round the outside of Lukey into turn 4. He's got that move stuck then. I wonder then if White Fountain, I can't quite see clearly, is that a bit of damage to the front wing there, left hand side? I might be seeing things, but either way, it doesn't really matter because he's now got 6th place away from Lukey, and Lukey will be trying to battle as hard as he possibly can. It's not been a bad day for Ferrari, but they would have wanted slightly better as we head on to the final lap of the race. Then Jorrit leads 2 seconds ahead of Westy then. Not long to go now for Jorrit then. About a minute to go before he can see the checkered flag. And it's been a really professional drive from Jorrit then as he makes his way down towards turn 4 for the final time. Through turn 5 he goes and up the hill towards turn 6. We will of course try and keep you up to date with those battles. Lukey meanwhile loses major time on the car ahead of him. Meanwhile Scorpion again getting past TK. Up to 8th place he goes then as we see a battle between Victor and Asahina. Really going at it. Here's turn 9 with Jorrit then up the hill towards turn 10. And it's only a couple of corners now before Jorrit can try and claim his first win of the season. Through turn 11 he goes. Down the hill now towards turn 12 at one of the lowest points on the circuit then. In towards turn 12 and up the hill now through 13, 14 and 15. And why not? He's going through Junsao now, making his way towards the checkered flag. Jorrit's already weaving. He knows he's done the job here. Jorrit for Mercedes wins the Brazilian Grand Prix. What a race for Jorrit. Completely dominated that one. Westy, 2nd place, but 14 seconds down. This is a chance for Chris here to try and grab 2nd place due to penalties, which he can't do. Thompson, meanwhile, rounds off a superb drive from the back. 4th place for him. He can be really happy with that one. Nick A then jumps Thompson on penalties up to 4th he goes. So Thompson now 5th place, but take nothing away from his drive. Absolutely fantastic. White Fountain 6th. Scorpion now up to 7th place with Lukey's penalties. Victor then in 9th. TK 10th with Asahina dropping to 12th now through penalties. Pete now up to 11th. That'll be Nick G who will come across the line in P13, and Liam as a ghost car will not be able to take the checkered flag. But race winner for the first Precision Tier race of One Hub Racing. It's Jorik for Mercedes.
I was slightly worried before the race that with everyone being forced to go into two-stop strategies, we might see the racing not quite as good with people having different tyre strategies and different pit stops. I think I've been roundly proved wrong over that race.
Absolutely. Battling throughout. And Jorik gets a well-deserved win. First race win of the season. Always a great feeling there. And Mercedes will be very, very happy with that one. All across all the tiers here. That'll be fantastic news for Mercedes, as 25 points at least get added to their championship total. Of course, totals across all the tiers then. Everybody made 2 stops, so no disqualifications. Your official, unofficial results then. Jorik takes the race win. Westy in 2nd, Chris in 3rd, Nikkei 4th, Thompson in 5th, White Fountain 6th, Scorpion 7th, Lukey 8th, Victor 9th, TK rounding out the top 10. Pete in 11th, Asahina 12th, Nick G 13th, Liam in 14th with, he didn't finish by the way, Matty Daddy 15th, 16th, 17th, Jaw, Lawrence at 18th. They all did not finish the race. Now, Luke, it comes to driver of the day, and I'm gonna say it. My vote goes to Thompson. What a fantastic drive he had from P18 to come to P5. Fantastic race for him. Did everything he could and did it well.
Yeah, took advantage of some of the other incidents ahead. Just tried to keep his nose clean as much as possible. I think my nomination is going to have to go to Jorik. He just did the job he asked of him. You can't ask for any more. Got away well. Managed his tyres enough in that first stint to ensure he had enough of the lead when he came into the pits, and just didn't panic when Westy was closing up to him in the final stages. Just kept it nice and clean, and a well-deserved victor.
So there are your 2 options then. They'll be available as a vote later on today. Were we completely wrong? Who did you think the driver of the day was? Let us know down below. But let's just take a minute, Luke, to just breathe a little bit. That was such an intense race. We had up to 7 cars battling at one point. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it's just the DRS just seemed to help everyone keep in contact with each other, and I think Lukey did a fantastic job to hold off them cars for such a long period of time. It is so difficult when you've got all those cars behind you to try and concentrate on making sure you get the apexes just right, because one slight mistake from him could have easily lost 5 or 6 places.
Absolutely. Well, that wraps it up then for the Precision Tier. Make sure you check out the Pinnacle Tier, which is going on right now on the other side of this channel. And also you've got the Prestige Tier later on at 21:30 BST. Make sure you tune in for that one as well. Remember, every single team who scores, it all adds up. And you can see if anybody forgets the 2 stops. No one forgot here, but yeah, what a way to start this season. Make sure you do subscribe to the channel as well. Hit the notification bell so you're notified every time we go live. And of course, make sure you do participate in the Driver of the Day vote when it goes live later on. You can also follow me on Twitter if you like. It's at KSMCGF1. You can also follow Luke there as well.
Yeah, at Luke Etheridge 95.
And hopefully we haven't overhyped this one, have we? We definitely haven't. We're only just getting started. 7 races to go. Hopefully you can join us next week for another exciting edition of the Precision Tier. Until then, thank you very much for watching. I've been Kieran McGinley.
I've been Luke Etheridge.
Take care of yourselves, and we will see you next time.